We are always looking to partner with more nonprofits. You know, we're always looking to figure out ways we can, one, move that needle on food insecurity and hunger, but obviously also get more Zees and National Food Group products in the hands of people who need it most.
Like, I never ever thought I would ever work in the school food space, but I'll tell you what, I'm never gonna go anywhere else because the people in this, like whether they're operating the industry, they're just all good people.
It doesn't matter where the school's from. We have gotten applications from all 50 states. Last year alone, we had over $6 million in debt applied to be paid off to us.
All right, this is the Next Up podcast. As you know, obviously, I'm here with Samantha from National Food Group, or Zees, and we're going to talk about all the amazing things that they do as a company. So, Samantha, welcome to the show. It's your first time on, right?
Thank you. First time, first podcast ever.
First podcast ever. Cool. And do me a favor, and I like to get an origin story of everybody that comes on the show. So tell me about yourself, like how you, where you started, how you got to Zees, and what you're doing right now.
Absolutely. Well, it was an interesting journey. So went to school for advertising and PR, thought I wanted to do PR, came out of school during a time where there wasn't a lot of jobs, was living with my parents, which is always a journey in itself, and, you know, fell into a internship in the NFL with an NFL team doing community relations, which was something I had no idea what it was.
You can tell us which team it was?
I can tell you it was the Detroit Lions,
Okay.
Which fingers crossed for a playoff run this year. And I didn't know what community relations was, and I fell into it. It was an open position. I took it, and I very quickly fell in love with it. It was, you know, it took my communication skills, but coupled it with doing work in the community, in a community that I grew up in and felt really strongly about. So I was there. I ended up staying there for about 5 seasons. And then I, you know, packed up and moved to Connecticut, and I was at ESPN doing similar work.
Okay, all right. So you got some pretty cool stuff you're touching on here.
A little bit.
Tell me more about the Lions. What was your favorite project that you worked on with them?
That's a hard one. I think in the NFL and in community relations, it's changed so much. But I think for us, being in Detroit, we were in such a lucky position because Detroit is such a cool city, and there's so much possibility. And so we worked closely with a lot of nonprofit partners, and especially with United Way and Easter Market, and we did a program called Meet Up and Eat Up, where we kind of talked to kids about, you know, eating fresh fruits and vegetables, using SNAP benefits, visiting your local farmers market. And we would take kids, you know, every Tuesday, which is the NFL off day, with players, and they could shop the local farmers market.
That's
and
cool.
So a lot of kids would come back and they would see, you know, a persimmon, and they had no idea what it was. They'd never seen it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the team chef would come and show them, this is how you cook it. And for me to be able to see players working with kids, that was always super special.
So was it the team chef that actually cooked for the team that was cooking with the kids?
Yes, he would come and talk to the kids about what it was like to, you know, cook for an NFL team. And then he would kind of show them, this is, you know, the vegetables you saw today, this is what you could do is take it home and cook with your family.
That's awesome.
It was very cool.
That's cool. All right, ESPN.
Then I went to ESPN. Equally as cool. I've been a sports fan my whole life. I had always wanted to work in sports. ESPN is located in Connecticut, which is not necessarily a sports town or a sports state. So it was very unique, but it was very, very cool.
Yeah.
It's a campus that's like a college campus. You're standing in, you know, the lunch line with the same people you see on SportsCenter every day.
Yeah.
But it's very cool. You're at the intersection of sports 24/7. So
what's your favorite sport?
football.
Football?
I am a football fan
Okay.
since birth.
All right. Did you play sports growing up?
I did. I played every sport under the sun. I played softball all the way through high school.
Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
And then from ESPN, what'd you do?
So from ESPN, I came back to Metro Detroit and I worked for Ford Motor Company. So I left sports, jumped into automotive, 2 very different fields.
Yeah.
And so I was with the Ford Motor Company Fund, which is now Ford Philanthropic, for another 5 years.
Man, you've worked with 3, now 4 juggernauts.
A little bit, yeah.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, so it was very cool to be able to work for a global company that, you know, is in almost every country
Yeah.
and has thousands upon thousands of employees. So it was very cool.
So I'm not asking you to pick a favorite, but out of those first 3 organizations, is there a favorite one that you felt you were able to offer the most impact, and why?
It's like picking my favorite kid.
hey,
I
everybody
would
has a
have
favorite
to
kid.
say, if I'm looking at the experiences as a
Yeah.
whole, I mean, being 23 and working for an NFL team, that's the thing of dreams.
Yeah.
I mean, I looked at myself and said, "Have we peaked too soon?" It was amazing just to be able to stand on an NFL field at kickoff
Yeah.
and you watch this, this whole thing happen around you.
Mm-hmm.
And NFL teams, most people don't know, they're small teams. It's not, thousands of people. It's hundreds of people, maybe even less, that are putting on a game day. And so no matter what you dealt with during the week, Sundays at 1 o'clock, that ball was kicked, no matter what. And so you had to come together as a team. And so for that day, whether that be a Sunday, a Thursday, a Monday, you're a team no matter what. And that was very cool.
So just out of curiosity, did the NFL chef cook for you also? Or
Yes.
just the players?
So part of my career at the Lions, I was able to enjoy that.
How was the food?
It was delicious.
Like, what's a typical NFL meal?
Well, the problem was they were, feeding for NFL players. I was not an NFL player, so my, exercise regimen was not the same as theirs.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables, a lot of protein. It was, the amount of options you had were immense.
So just out of curiosity, I know we're getting like way off topic here, but I'm curious. So, all right, so on an NFL team, there's a registered dietitian typically, right? And does that registered dietitian work with each player, and then based on the needs of the player, they would work with the chef to create those dishes? Is that how it works?
That I don't know. I wasn't privy to those conversations.
Okay.
I would assume so, especially if there's like certain circumstances or certain diets.
Okay.
But yeah, I wouldn't know. And I assume each team is different too. But I mean, a lot of these teams have it dialed in. I mean, there's a reason a lot of these teams do well every year.
Yeah.
They've got it dialed in, not just from, the field standpoint, but everything around it.
Yeah, it's nutrition too.
Yeah.
All right, so why'd you leave Ford and go to Zee's?
Well, this opportunity came up, and as I just said, I had been at these big companies, these global companies, and I saw this, job pop up that seemed too good to be true. I had never worked in food. I worked at a Jimmy John's in college, and that was as close as I got. And food and hunger and food insecurity is always something that's, been in my heart. But as a country, we've been throwing, millions of dollars at food insecurity and hunger forever. And unfortunately, the trend is going the wrong way. And so, something that keeps me up at night is, why is that happening and how do we fix it? And so I felt that being able to come into this role that's centered around food was just perfect for me. And it felt like a very unique opportunity. Also coming from large companies and being able to join a smaller team felt really fun. It felt like there could be more impact and also more chances to work together versus, being part of 30,000 people globally. At our company, you know everyone. We're a family, we're a team. And that was something, I hadn't had. So it's been wonderful.
Roughly how many people are on the Zee's team or
About
National Food Group?
For the whole team, about 140.
Okay, that's everybody.
That's everybody.
All right, and are you specifically on the ZZ side, or are you National Food Group and you do everything for them?
I do both. So
Okay.
I represent National Food Group and ZZ. So I find ways to give back in the community, no matter what brand we're representing that day.
Cool. How are you giving back in the community?
That's a big question. We
That's
could be
why
here
we're
for
here.
days.
That's why we're here.
So I'm in charge of handling what we call Project Serve. So it's
Yeah.
our philanthropic initiative and what we kind of say that all of our community giving falls under. And those are our 5 pillars, secure food and funding, educate, respect diversity, volunteer, and elevate sustainability. So we try to make sure the majority of our funding falls in those pillars. So we pledge that 5% of our profits are always going back into those communities, whether, it's communities local to Michigan where we're based, but also around the country where all of our customers are. So we do all kinds of things. We obviously do a lot of food. We donate about 400,000 pounds of food every year to food banks and nonprofits. We do a lot of stuff in education. So, like I just said, I had never worked in food. I don't think it ever crossed my mind to work in food in my field.
Yeah.
I think a lot of kids, when you hear, I want to work in food, you think, I want to be a chef. I want to work in a grocery store. I want to work, for a big food manufacturer. But in reality, you can do whatever. You can be an accountant, you can be a marketer, you can be a salesperson, you can be a buyer, and still work in food.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of programs where we're trying to bring awareness to the industry, kind of build out that pipeline and help, people like us keep growing our teams and keep bringing awareness to the field. So can we bring in a high schooler that loves food and might also love shopping and tell them that they could be a food buyer? And that's something where when kids see that, they're like, wait a second, that's not a career path anyone's told me about or that I thought about. So we do all kinds of stuff, everything around food usually.
You are absolutely right. People don't think about the other areas of food other than like preparing the food, right? I never really, like I've always known that obviously, but I've never really thought about that.
Yeah.
So that makes total sense. Yeah.
I mean, we have supply chain majors on our team that manage our logistics, and they have to think about things like temperature of the truck and how far is it going and, can things be stacked? They're thinking about food. They might not have thought they were going to do that when they started their career.
Yeah.
But if they love food and they want to make sure how do we move it the best way. But that doesn't mean they wanted to become a chef when they grew up. So it's kind of making sure I can love food and love what I do at the same time.
Yeah. Are there any college programs out there where they focus on like philanthropic support for food specifically, or is it just more like general and then you kind of pick your niche?
Well, it's funny, as far as I know, so like when I went in college, there was no program for philanthropic work at all. So like corporate social responsibility, there normally isn't a major for that. So you'll find that like a lot of people in my field, we all have different majors. We might have a communications background, a nonprofit background. So, to answer your first question, no, because the field itself it's not as dedicated. You don't go to school and they say, here's one of the majors you can pick. For food, I'm not sure. Because like I said, I didn't go to school for it. So this was something I fell into and I'm leaning into it really hard.
Would you say there's a need for it?
I always think there's a need for more corporate social responsibility people. I think it's a newer field. I think companies have always been doing it on a, some sort of scale, but it's becoming more and more important to businesses. And it's becoming more and more important to those who want to work for businesses. So we get a lot of people that say, the reason we wanted to talk to you was because of what you're doing in the community. A lot of the younger generations, it's super important to them to say, well, what are you as a company doing to give back?
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely something that's growing. I get a lot of messages from younger people who say, I want to break into the field. How do I do it? Because again, it's not something you can go take a class on.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about mentoring?
Me?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would do it all day.
Yeah, because you have a ton of experience, and the cool thing is you're still young, and I feel like you have a
Thank you for
lot.
saying that.
You are. But I feel like you have a lot to give back, and I feel like there's a need for more people like you in the world at other companies because, people need to eat, and someone needs to help get them fed, right?
Yeah, well, thank you for saying that. That's very kind. And I have people that will, reach out to me on LinkedIn, and they always say, can we have a conversation? And I 100% will always have that conversation because it's something I wish I had thought to do, when I was starting. And again, like I said, it's a small field. I mean, even in Metro Detroit, everyone knows everyone because there aren't a lot of us.
Yeah.
Even when I was at the Lions, I was on a team of 3.
Wow.
Right now at National Food Group, I'm, on a bigger team of 4, but I'm the one doing all of the community work. So essentially a team of 1.
Okay.
So it's a small field, but a mighty field.
So what are the other people on your team? What do they do?
So I'm on the HR team. So it's our VP of HR, our 2 HR, payroll, and me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I know we'll get into Grab the Tab later, but like you say, you guys are pretty much, you're a small but mighty team. But man, the impact that you guys have had and the example that you have set and the way you guys are leading with Grab the Tab is ridiculous. I can't tell you how many times other manufacturers reach out to me to ask how you guys are doing what you were doing because they either want to support or try something similar. And I'm like, talk to them, talk to me. Like, here's what I know, but check in with them. But it is amazing.
Oh, well, thank you. It was a program we thought we'd pilot and see what would happen. And it has since, exploded, which I think on one hand is amazing. We love that we get to do it. On the other hand, we wish we didn't have to do it. But I would say we're small but mighty, but Grab the Tab is a whole team project. It takes, our marketing team, our accounting team, it takes our K-12 team because they're the ones that know the schools. They're the ones that are, current on the issues. And it's a labor of love, and it's something we love doing every year. The whole company looks forward to it. But again, like I said, we love doing it, but we wish we didn't have to.
Yeah.
We thought we would do it one year and, hopefully the trend and more states would go universal meals, and it's going the opposite way. So, we'll be back.
Well, we are going to be back to talk about Grab the Tab.
Perfect.
I have a question to ask you about that. But who are some of the other organizations or partners that you work with currently?
So a lot of our partners are based in Metro Detroit because that's where we're headquartered. So I would say a big one that we're working with, we work with a lot of food banks. So in Metro Detroit, we work with Forgotten Harvest. They're a local food bank that is able to distribute to other smaller food banks. We work with an organization called Kids Food Basket in West Michigan. They do evening and weekend meals. They do about 11,000 meals a day in 3 counties. So we work with them with our Zees products to put them in the bags.
All right, cool. So Kids Food Basket, what else, or who else are you guys working with?
We work with an organization called Detroit Food Academy. So they do after-school programming for kids who want to learn about food and who want to cook. So like I was saying earlier, we bring their students in and they get to hear from all of our different departments. So like I said, last year we had a young girl. She listened to everyone talk and she stood up and she said to one of our buyers, she said, "Wait a second, you buy food for a living?" And she was like, "Yes, I do." She goes, "But I love shopping and I love food. You're saying I can do that?" And she goes, "Great, thanks. I'll be applying in 5 or 6 years." And for us, that's super empowering to kind of see like we're changing these kids' lives. We're giving them options that they didn't know they had.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
So do you guys utilize your test kitchen?
We do.
All? I have to say, so I did a visit with you guys this past year, and I had no idea you guys had your own test kitchen.
Yeah.
And it's a nice test kitchen. So you actually bring kids in there, and that's where you go through all the training. And
we do. So they get a whole tour of the building. They get to hear from a bunch of people in our staff. They get all the ZZ treats they'd like. And then they go in the kitchen and they meet with our chef. So we have a chef on staff, and she walks them through, what her career path is, how, being a corporate chef is different from being a usual chef, why she took that path. But then also, this is how I'm making what I'm making today. What do you guys think? We did a volunteer event with their group a couple weeks ago, and it was all of our leadership team. And these kids ran circles around us. In the time it took us to make a salad, they made their own buttermilk, their own butter. They made cornbread. They had peeled and potatoes. They came over to us. And they were like, "Do you guys need help?" And I was like, "This is so embarrassing."
That's awesome.
But it was so cool to see them they knew exactly what tools to grab. They knew exactly what making buttermilk meant. So it was very cool. For me, I love working with kids. I could hang out with them all day.
It's amazing how smart these kids are today. It's like, whenever we were growing up, we had encyclopedias and stuff like that.
Yes.
Now they have YouTube and they're learning all the time in different ways. And it's so cool doing trainings with them. Like, so from my perspective, from my side, we'll do a lot of media training, video, photography, those sorts of things. And this past week, I was actually with Miami-Dade doing a food photography and videography class with some of their students. And the pictures that these kids took were phenomenal. It was crazy. I'm like, all we had to do was give them just a little bit more to get them over the edge. But some of these shots would probably pass for professional photos. And we just tweaked them just a little bit, and they took it like a million levels above what we would have ever thought about. It was crazy.
We had all the kids in, and we always say what questions do you have for us? And I have to say they gave us a handful of questions that had all of the adults in the room looking at each other.
Yeah.
Because we weren't sure of the answer, and we said, "Can we please get back to you on that?" They were so thoughtful, and I think we went into it being like, they're going to ask pretty basic questions, and they stumped us. They were amazing. Yeah,
a lot of times I have to remind myself that kids today are way more thoughtful than kids were whenever I was a kid.
And they have a lot more information.
A lot more information.
Yes. Yeah. I had the information that was, in my little bubble. They have information from anywhere at any time.
Yeah. So you mentioned your office earlier. For the people that may not have heard about your office, you want to describe your office culture and what you guys have available in the office to everybody?
I would love to. So our office, it's magical. It's a very fun, collaborative, space. You walk in, it's full of color. You hear people, talking all day long, collaborating. We have a clubhouse. We have very comfortable seating all over the place. We have, a fireplace that you can go sit by in the colder months, like right now. We have a golf simulator. We have our kitchen. twice a month we have what we call nosh, where our chef, makes us a meal.
I've never heard about that.
Just yesterday, she made, it was bagel egg bombs.
Whoa.
With hash browns and cinnamon rolls and fruit, and we're treated very, very well.
A bagel egg bomb.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
So am I going to get the invite for the next one?
Hey, come on up. Come
you
on
heard
up.
That. You heard that. She said to come on up. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it's a wonderful place to work. And listen, I've worked at some really cool places, but there's just something different about walking in a building and knowing every single person in there. I mean, even just yesterday, we're all kind of getting ready to take off for the holidays, and you could not walk past a single person that didn't say, have a Merry Christmas, I hope you enjoy your time off, I'll see you in the new year. It's different than when you're at a big company and you don't know most of the people you pass.
Yeah. Do you feel like because you guys are a smaller organization that you're more agile, more nimble, you can react quicker, those sorts of things?
Absolutely. I'll tell you a quick story. So I came from larger corporations where there's a lot of corporate red tape. And, my first meeting at National Food Group after I'd been hired, I kind of said, this is what I'm thinking. What do you guys think? And they said, great, sounds good.
Don't you love that?
And I go, okay.
So I can do it?
What do you mean? And they go, sounds good. It's exactly what we said. And I said, in my mind, I thought, but wait, I've got, 6 more months of meetings and we're going to change our mind. And they're like, no, just go do it. Yeah. And that was, for me, it was a culture shift. And it makes for more creativity. It makes for more innovation. And it just makes it so that we can try new things without it, dying in the meeting shuffle or in just the calendar flying by. Grab the Tab's a great example. We talked about that. Let's see, I started in August, and the next March we were launching it. So we move quick at National Food Group.
August to March.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So why did you guys are a private company, correct? Sorry. Why did the owners want to create your position?
I don't want to speak for them because I wasn't there when they made the decision, but in the time I've been there, the 3.5 years I've been there, giving back to the community is very important, not just to our leadership, of course, but to everyone in the building. And it's important to everyone. It's important to those who volunteer. It's important to, those who do stuff in their community already. But for us to be a responsible company and to say that we care about everyone, we need to, do what we say. Yeah. So I think it was just something where it was necessary, and it's exactly what we should be doing.
Do you have other colleagues that you can connect with that are doing similar things to you? Like, so I know, like, say for me or a food service director, they can they can go to a conference, have a conversation with someone else doing the same thing as them. Do you have any networking groups like that? I
do. So especially in the state of Michigan, we have, it's a regional group. It's the Michigan, Corporate Social Responsibility Professionals Group. You can join it. It's free. And we meet monthly.
Oh, wow.
And we have different topics we talk about, but it's somewhere where we all come together and say, how's everyone doing? Especially in today's world. What are we all focusing on? What are you focusing on? What are, as a group, should we be focusing on something? But it's also a space to go, did you guys try this? How did it go? Have you guys supported this event? What did you think? It's a place to bounce ideas off each other. So a good example, when it looked like they were going to cut SNAP benefits, we had almost like an emergency email chain. Like, what is everyone doing? Are there ways we can work together? Are there things we should be doing separately? Is everyone kind of covering a different piece of the state? So it's one of my favorite meetings of the month, just to kind of have a little therapy session with everyone else in my field.
So I'm super competitive, so I'm sorry. I have to ask this. When you're meeting with those groups, do you find that Zees is probably a little bit more innovative in terms of how you guys are serving the community than some of the others?
I want to say yes, but I am lucky enough to be talking to some really amazing companies,
That's
Kellogg,
awesome.
Ford, Steelcase, Meyer. These are some companies that are doing some really cool things. So, the competitive side of me wants to say yes, but I can't discredit what they're doing.
Yeah, that's awesome to be in that circle of legendary, servant leaders.
Yes.
And to just grow stronger together. It's
just nice to have that board to bounce ideas off of.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. All right, so talk to me about blessings in a backpack. I actually have a friend that works there, Heather D'Ambrosi. Heather, shout out to you. How are you doing?
Big fan of Heather.
Heather is amazing. She's also here in the Tampa Bay area, which I'm sure you know.
Yes.
So I met Heather when I used to work in my school district years and years and years ago. And she used to work for Hillsborough County. I was at Pasco. And back then I was super competitive and I was into obstacle course racing and all of that. Like that was my life back then. And I meet her at a conference, and of course she says she's a runner and this and that. I hear she's fast, and I asked her time for like her marathon. I'm like, goodness, I should never ask you that because there's no way I'm coming anywhere near that. She is an absolute animal, but as successful as she is running races, she is as successful working with Blessings in the Backpack. And when I heard that they were partnering with you a couple years ago, I was like, this just makes total sense.
It's, it's an organization that's been around forever that I've heard about, throughout my career. And, shout out to Heather. I've been emailing with her all week on various things. They're a wonderful organization doing the most basic work. So, as we know, there are tons of amazing programs that are feeding kids in school. But, come Friday afternoon after that lunch, they're going to get on that bus, get in the car on the way home. Sometimes they don't know where that next meal is going to come from until that Monday breakfast. Yeah. And so Blessings in a Backpack does an amazing job of filling that gap. So they have about 1,200 chapters around the country that they work, almost entirely volunteer-based to pack meals for the weekend. So, they pack all these meals, they go to the schools, and then students can pick them up and take them home. And they'll have items in there that they can, snack on, eat throughout the weekend. Obviously at Zees, we are so focused on K-12 schools. We're so focused on that Monday through Friday. And we kind of looked around and said, is there a way that we can also help fill that gap? We want Zees to be a part of every meal, not just, that one lunch. And so we had been working with Blessings in a Backpack in a small capacity, for years, sending a case of items here, working on different events there. And so the Blessings in a Backpack team and I kind of got together and said, how do we make this bigger? How can we make a bigger impact? And so, in 2026, we are their new national Race to Feed sponsor.
Let's go.
I know, we're excited. It's a program that, we've provided product to, but we said, how can we make it bigger? How can we, support in a different way? And like you said, we're an agile company. We're creative and we're also competitive. And so being able to sponsor an event where people are literally racing to fill bags, it's like a 2-hour event. People create teams. They race to fill as many bags as they can in that time frame, sometimes upwards of 10 to 12,000 bags in a 2-hour space. And it just made perfect sense. These kids are getting Zees in their lunchrooms. It's a product they're familiar with. It's a product they know they like. And I think, as we all know, if kids don't think they like something, they're not going to eat it. So if they say, oh, I love that bar. I love that Zees bar. I have it every day. They're going to grab it out of the bag and eat it. And also, if they're taking these bags home, there's always going to be a little piece that might feel uncomfortable taking this bag. Being able to see a product they know is going to make it that much better because they go, oh, there's that bar I had at lunch. And so being able to supply the product for these events and to be able, maybe we supply a team here and there, but also providing monetary support, just partnering with them made so much sense.
And kids know your brand. I mean, even my kids, like, they'll come home and be like, oh, I had Zees for lunch today or for breakfast or whatever. Like, they know, they recognize, and they love the product.
I mean, they're good products, too. It's delicious. Yeah. As you saw, we have a warehouse full of snacks. And at any given time, one of us is in there grabbing something. I had some on the plane here.
I was going to say, and I'm not going to feel bad saying it now, like, when I'm hungry, I'm stacking on Zees here at the office.
Same. Well, you know what? I'm happy to hear that. Yeah. It's a partnership that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited to do it. The first one's in Wisconsin in January, and we're going to kick it off, and they'll run throughout the year. But, we want to get those Zees products in the hands of kids anytime they need it, not just, in the cafeteria, but, on that weekend while they're waiting to get back to school.
So where in Wisconsin, when in January, and who is attending?
So it's in Waukesha, Wisconsin on January 22nd.
I'm writing that down.
Please do. They will be packing about 12,000 bags that evening, which in my, that's just so many bags.
Yeah.
We do an event in the office for them every year. We do, 100 to 200 bags. It takes our team, a minute 30 to do all 100 bags. But yeah, so we'll be in Wisconsin with their team, Waukesha, Wisconsin on January 22nd.
Okay. And who typically, who's going to be there? Is it staff? Is
Yeah,
it
so it's
volunteers?
the whole Blessings to Backpack staff. So the chapter itself is running it. So they get community members, community leaders, volunteers to staff the teams.
All right. Is there a chapter here?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm sure there is.
I want to compete.
Yeah.
So you guys packed how many bags?
I know there is there's an event in Orlando.
Okay. What was your guys' time? How many bags?
I think we did about 150 bags in about a minute 40.
Oh, we could beat that.
You know what? You're on. You're on.
We can beat that. I'll have to give Heather a call after this.
We're going to start videoing it, official times. Yeah.
It would be cool to do something where it's like we live stream back and forth.
Yes.
Your office versus my office.
Yes.
So you pack the most bags fastest.
Yeah, you want to see some Zees team members get competitive?
I believe it.
Give them a clock.
I believe it. Us
yes,
too.
it's amazing. It's something the team looks forward to doing every year. And so now to be able to almost, take it on the road and do it on a much larger scale means so much to us.
Yeah. Gosh, I love that idea.
Yeah, it's our first national, partnership with a nonprofit, and we're super proud.
Okay.
We're
Are
excited.
you guys looking to partner with more nonprofits?
We are always looking to partner with more nonprofits. We're always looking to figure out ways we can, one, move that needle on food insecurity and hunger, but obviously also get more Zees National Food Group products in the hands of people who need it most.
Okay. I never ever thought I would ever work in the school food space, but I tell you what, I'm never going to go anywhere else because of people in this, whether they're
mostly,
in the industry,
U.S., mostly United States based.
Okay. Neat. That's awesome.
Listen, would I like to send Zees bars around the globe? Yes, but we're not there yet.
Right.
Give us time.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What else are you guys into?
Well, it's been a busy year. Our main goal is take the food that we're selling and let's make sure it gets into the hands of people who need it most. So we do all kinds of things to, preserve the life cycle of that food item and divert any waste. So a big thing that we do, if that product can't be sold or it can't be donated, we want to do everything we actually can to not just toss it in a landfill.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of composting. So, we take a lot of our items that, they can't be donated for whatever reason, they can't be sold, and we send them to a local composter. And so it gets turned into things like animal feed, biofuel. Our Zees products, when they're composted, they get turned to animal feed. And what I've been told is that the cows and pigs on the farm love it so much that when they see the truck coming, they get excited.
That is awesome.
I've asked for a video. What does that look like when farm animals get excited?
Yeah.
But for us, our product. It needs to have a full life cycle, and how can we make sure that it's not being just tossed when it's not usable? So last year we did about 300,000 pounds in composting. So we're always trying to find items that are gonna be diverted to the wrong way and find homes for it.
That is wild. I'm sure you don't know. Maybe you do. Do you know what type of cows? Are they dairy cows, beef cows?
I don't know. They haven't invited me to the farm yet.
Because I'm thinking now, I'm like, I could be eating a burger, but it could be Zees.
Could be. You never know.
It could be Zees.
Could be.
And that's why it tastes so good.
Yeah. But for us, I would much rather it go to use there than, sit in a garbage truck or in a dumpster.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's genius.
Yeah. It's, how do we divert it? How do we minimize the food waste, which is growing by the day here in our country?
Yeah.
And find ways to put it to use.
Man, that is so cool. And is that primarily done locally?
Usually local. So a lot of our composting is done locally.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. All right, let's talk about Grab the Tab.
The big one in the room.
So, actually, before we talk about Grab the Tab, you guys have started, I think, from my perception, it seems like you guys have started a wave with organizations and celebrities now wanting to pay off school meal debt. And recently, I saw something that Eminem and his daughter paid off a bunch of school meal debt, and they are also from the Detroit area. So my question to you is, did you know anything about that when it was happening? Have you guys had any communication with his camp, or is he just following the leader, which is Zees?
Listen, it would be my greatest career joy to say that Eminem was following the lead. Growing up Detroit, Eminem is the local celebrity in town, and he's an amazing supporter of Detroit. I'll say this: when I started National Food Group, I didn't know what school meal that was. I think if you're not in this space, you don't understand it. And so when we started, 3 years ago, we looked around and no one was talking about it. You might find, a very small organization or one school is doing it for their school, but from a corporation standpoint or a celebrity standpoint, it wasn't being talked about.
Yeah.
And when I started, I went to our K-12 team and I said, what is the important topic in K-12 schools? What is something that we can do that's going to be meaningful to them as our customers? And without hesitation, they said school meal debt. And I immediately followed up with, what is that? And when we are out talking about it, that's oftentimes the response we get. What is that? Explain it to me. And once you explain it, they go, wow, that's happening? How is that happening? What do you mean? How do we fix it? So we're thrilled that more and more people are doing it. We're happy to be the leader. We're glad to be the leader, honored. But, in 2025, the school meal debt is, they're looking at $200 million. That is not a dollar amount we can, pay off. And that's an amount that's growing. Just with economical factors, political factors, it's a number that's unfortunately growing. We thought this was going to be a 1-year program, maybe 2-year, and we're about to launch year 4, which we're thrilled about. We love doing it, but we really wish we didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
So we would love for, everyone to jump on the bandwagon, but we're, honored to be the first ones that did.
Yeah. I guess it is kind of like a love-hate relationship. Like you love the program, but you hate that it's a problem.
I always say that I love my job. I love what I do, but I really wish I didn't have to do it. I wish that I didn't have to, help find solutions to hunger and food insecurity and, education, that we just lived in this amazing, perfect world, but we don't. And thankfully I have a career because of it, but it's one half dozen of the other is which one I would like. I love doing it, but I'd like that we didn't have to do it.
I'm so silly because you did this and immediately I thought about my kids.
Listen, I thought we were done with this.
It's never going away. I don't even know how it got here.
And we're not supposed to understand it.
We're not supposed to get it, yeah.
Yeah.
So for those that are listening and not watching, Sam went like this and I thought 6'7".
Yeah. You know what? The amount of times I walk into that in a normal day is a lot.
It's such a dumb thing. Like I don't get it.
Listen, I'm sure there were things that I said that the adults didn't understand, back when I was young.
Yeah, maybe.
So I can't judge them.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so talk to me about, give me some numbers. So let's talk about growth. Like how much you guys have grown in terms of the Grab the Tab program from when it first started to where you guys are now.
Yeah, absolutely.
And where you're going.
So the first year we started with a very small budget, about $25,000, and we thought, let's see what happens. And what happened was we had hundreds of applications and millions of dollars of debt. And so we quickly said that's not enough. So in the last 3 years, we've given over $150,000 to pay off school lunch debt. So we've been to 9 schools, whether it's a school or a district, in 8 different states. And we've paid off over $150,000 in school lunch debt. And that's, in schools that are in rural areas, schools that are in urban areas, schools that are in big cities. Something I always think is really important to point out to people, food insecurity doesn't look at a zip code and say, not that zip code. Food insecurity is in every community, whether you think it is or not.
Yep.
In some way, shape, or form, it's touching the people, your neighbors and your friends and family. And school meal debt is no different. You could be in one of the most, affluent areas, and your school may still be applying because they have debt.
Yeah.
And it's just an issue that's growing.
Yeah, people don't get it. Like, it doesn't matter how much money is in that community, there can still be meal debt there.
Very much so. And I'll say the thing, as more and more states adopt, free breakfast and lunch, we still get schools that apply because they've had debt that's just rolled over. So last year we were in Chicago. We were in one of the largest districts in the state of Illinois. And Illinois is a free meal state. But what happened was they had this debt that just kept compiling and compiling and compiling, and they couldn't get ahead of it. And as you know, if they have this school lunch debt, it's taking away from other programs. It's taking away from other things the school could be doing for their students. And so it's it doesn't matter where the school's from. We have gotten applications from all 50 states.
Yeah.
Last year alone, we had over $6 million in debt applied to be paid off to us. That in itself is heartbreaking, and reading all of the applications is the hardest thing I've ever done in my career. Yeah. But it also shows that the amount of passion and care that our school nutrition teams have for their students is through the roof.
Mm-hmm. These are some of the best people you will find on the planet. I mean, let's be real. They're not working in this industry for the money. They're doing it because they love to feed kids. And that's why, like, I never ever thought I would ever work in the school food space. But I tell you what, I'm never going to go anywhere else because the people in this, like, whether they're operators or industry, they're just all good people.
They're the best of people. And as we read these applications that we get every year, and we read all of them, we read all 400 of them, it's very apparent that these are people that are applying to this grant, not for them. They're not getting anything out of it. It's for their students. And they're writing about the students in their cafeteria and the families in their community and what this grant would mean to them. And then when we go and visit the school, they absolutely welcome us with open arms. And they, want to do whatever they can to make our visit special, and they want to make it special for the kids. And these are just, people with the biggest hearts, and we're so lucky to be able to work with them.
Yeah. What does the application process look like?
So our application, they open in the spring, and really we don't ask for a lot. We ask for the basic, information, your school. Are you applying for a school? Or are you applying for a district? We ask for obviously the total debt that you have and just some sort of proof, from your district or your school on what that is. And then the biggest thing we ask for is your why. What's your why statement? Why should Zees come grab your tab? And that is really what we read and what we look at and say, how is us grabbing this tab going to affect this community as a whole? How is it going to impact these students and the staff and the surrounding community?
Yeah. So what's the plan for 2026?
2026, we're coming back year 4, bigger and better than ever. Okay. I don't want to give too much away. We'll be announcing soon, but the program is not going anywhere. Yeah. We're so excited to be back. We love traveling to all of the winners. We love going to schools. There is nothing I love more than standing in a cafeteria full of 3rd and 4th graders. I never feel more cool than when I do that. And it's something we just love doing. We love that we get to be able to do this. We so wish we could, pay off every single application we get. And like you said, we wish more people will follow in our footsteps to really alleviate the problem altogether.
Yeah, so what are some things that listeners can do to help alleviate the problem, to join forces with you?
Absolutely. Well, it's funny. We've actually gotten a couple people that just, call our company and say, is there any way we can help? So for us, the biggest thing you could do is reach out to your local school. Reach out, if your kid is in a school, reach out and say, hey, do you guys have an unpaid debt? Is there a way I can help? There's always going to be a PTA that's looking for help. And that's the biggest thing is reach out locally. Yeah. Reach out to those that you know well in the community that you're passionate about.
Yeah. How can someone who's interested in maybe getting into a role like yours reach out to you if they're looking for a mentor?
Absolutely. Well, you can find me on LinkedIn.
Perfect.
Yeah. Samantha Bourque on LinkedIn.
Okay. Are there any other things that you're super excited about for 2026 moving forward, or any other partnerships or collaborations?
I am super excited about a lot of things in 2026. Obviously, Grab the Tab and Blessings in a Backpack. I mentioned Detroit Food Academy earlier. We're going to start a new kind of grow our partnership with them that involves our staff working with their kids, whether that's on, education or career pathing, but also entrepreneurship and creating products and how do we market those and how do we, sell those, kind of the whole cycle of a Zees product, but for them. Yeah. So it's going to be a big year for us. It's going to be exciting.
You mentioned entrepreneurship, and my ears immediately perked up because I love talking about entrepreneurship.
Yes, they have a program called Small Batch where the kids create the product and then they sell it at the local farmers market, and then the proceeds go back into the program. And it's the kids that have graduated high school and this is like their job, and so we're going to partner with them on how do you really take a product from the idea to the formulation to the creation to selling it.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Gosh,
so
I love what you guys do.
Thank you. I'm very lucky to do what I do, and I'm even luckier to do it for Zees, a national food group. Yeah. Our team is amazing, and I couldn't do it without them.
Yeah, your team is amazing, and I'm a huge fan of the members of your team. Like some of the some of the best people in the industry. Like, you guys have been inspirational to me. Like, the way you guys market and brand and like stick to your brand, I love. And the way that you guys serve too, I love that just as much. And if there's anything that we can do as an NxtGen network to help support Grab the Tab, let us know. We want to help spread the message as much as we can. We want to be a partner in this with you because you guys are doing a great thing, and more people need to jump on the bandwagon and start serving more.
Oh, well, thank you. We will always, anyone can apply. So the more people that, know about it, the better.
Yeah.
We'll take any application. We read them all. But yeah, you're right. We have the greatest team, especially our K-12 team. They know what they're doing and they know who they're talking to, and no one knows school nutrition people better than they do.
Yeah.
Oftentimes I walk over and if I ask them a question, they know the answer immediately. And I've learned a lot from them, and, they do some good work.
Yeah, what's cool is you guys actually have people that worked in school districts that are on your team. And it's starting to become more of a norm, but there's still a lot of companies out there that are just hiring people off the street, which isn't bad, but they don't have like that experience of actually working in operations in the school district. You guys have that all over the place. It's really neat.
Absolutely. Our team is they come with such great experience, and they come with the experience because they did it. And I think a lot of companies, you might not find that. And I think when you were yourself in it, you can bring a different mindset. And also you can kind of look at it from the customer point of view. What would be easy for them? What are they looking for? Because what was I looking for?
Yeah.
And I just think it brings a different level of customer service that we have to our customers. And I think that's why our products do so well.
Awesome. Well, hey, Samantha, thank you so much for hanging out with me today.
Of course. Thank you for having
that
me.
You guys do with Grab the Tab and all your other initiatives, like the partnerships and the relationships that you guys are building. I think you guys are going to help transform even more than school nutrition. You're going to be transforming food in general. You guys are amazing. Love you guys.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. This has been a blast.
Anytime.
Thanks.
Yeah.